third day of coverage, and Alexandra was actually over in Baton Rouge. And I'm curious to know, we haven't talked much about the Baton Rouge area, recently, but Alex, you were up there. What did you see on the way back?
Yeah, Charisse, it was okay. It was, at first, we kind of started to hear everything happen just as anticipated a lot later than what we were seeing. So we were tracking everything for New Orleans, and then it was a big delay before we really saw anything happen in Baton Rouge. And then finally we heard some kind of rain coming down. And then I will say going home very late last night after a lot of coverage, from there. We were at the backup studio just in case anything were to happen in the French Quarter. And then eventually, we did go home very late last night to a different building. But we did, on the way home, start to see some different things. Like we did see some tree limbs down, and we saw this morning a lot of tree limbs down. And then there was a big process trying to get from Baton Rouge back to New Orleans today. So we, had to come because we were a news unit, and we did see other people on the road actually, and we did see a lot of trees down. In fact, some of the worst going from Baton Rouge. We had to go all the way across to Slidell and then down the Twin Spans. And really what we saw on the way was a lot of different trees down, and I saw some of the worst right around the Holden area, which made sense because that was where our big line of eye wall was coming in across parts of Lafourche, of course, and Terrebonne parishes, and then farther north to the river parishes. And for us, it was really right around the Holden area on toward Hammond, Ponchatoula, kind of all in that cluster along the I-10 there. We did see, Chris is so tall, I turn up tiny when I have his camera setting in front of the green screen, but we did see a lot of pine trees down, especially around those areas near the interstate. So there was a lot of damage. We did kind of have, at that point, while we were coming in kind of midday afternoon today, the interstate was fine. You may have heard that. I-10 all the way to Slidell and then down the Twin Spans, but you could see that there were some areas where there had been trees pretty close, and then people had to kind of move them out, but by the time we went through, we were able to make it. So we are now seeing Ida, thankfully, off to the north of us, and now we are getting at least a bit of a break. We did also drive through a little bit of rain on our way, a pretty heavy little downpour, because we still have a couple of these bands kind of feeding in, and we did earlier today. But I just wanted to show you really quickly, as we get into our precision cast model here, what's going to happen as we get into the next couple of days. Chris was noting that we still have a chance for a few showers and storms tomorrow, and then all the way, you can see it there, into Tuesday. This is kind of midday. You can see some showers and storms. So we're not quite finished with the rain just yet, but we're thinking it'll be more toward the coast on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And then at the end of the week, this is what we have to look forward to. We've been saying if you can make it past tomorrow and make it past Wednesday, really, maybe starting Thursday, Friday, and then into Saturday, we're expecting this area of drier air to move in while our humid air kind of gets pushed a little farther to the south, and our winds will be changing. And so that's going to make a little bit of a difference as we get into the end of the week. So again, tomorrow, Wednesday, hot and sticky feeling, and we've been pointing out also that we have a heat advisory. A little bit unusual to have that tomorrow because our heat index is only expected to get to about 100. So that's not really excessively hot, but the National Weather Service noted that they did this same kind of thing after Hurricane Laura for southwest Louisiana last year. And they noted that without power, there's nowhere to go inside, cool down, or we don't have air conditioning. So if you're out cleaning up things and kind of in the recovery and cleanup effort, it's going to be really hot and you won't have a lot of relief. We don't have refrigerators and freezers, so even a cool drink kind of hard to come by in spots. So that's why the heat index is only going to be 100, but just keep in mind, we also won't be able to take those breaks in the air conditioning and things like that. But if we can make it to the end of the week, this is the thing that I've been looking forward to. We will have a little bit of drier air working in, and so that will be something to look forward to. Won't be really extreme or drastic. It's not going to feel really cool just yet, but our highs may only be perhaps in the upper 80s. We'll get a little break in the humidity, our dew points falling from the 70s into the 60s. And so it should feel pretty comfortable, especially mornings and evenings. and night times, and then the afternoon even won't feel quite as hot and humid as it could. Here's our satellite and radar imagery. Let me go back to it. Sorry, we're kind of in flux here with our different computers, different meteorologists using them at this point, but I just kind of was throwing this graphic in here, and I just wanted to show you we do still have a few of these showers. So if you're in the Mandeville and Covington areas and you're getting some of this rain, there it is right there. And we also have some off toward really kind of outside of our Mississippi, Hancock and Pearl River counties, but over on the other side into Alabama as well. And then here's a big band feeding into the Florida panhandle as we see Ida, which is now a depression, a tropical depression, really centered over north of Jackson in Mississippi. And Ida is going to take a track passing over Tennessee by tomorrow night and then all the way toward the mid-Atlantic as a continually weakening storm. So by then it will just be a remnant low pressure area as we move into Thursday, kind of toward the mid-Atlantic and then off toward really kind of off into the Atlantic as we get into Friday. So we are watching a little bit of this shower and storm activity. We are expecting a little bit more tomorrow too, but really what we will be watching for is our rain chances eventually going downward. So still a decent chance tomorrow, although again, probably what most of us will note is the heat and humidity while we're trying to do things outside, clearing a few of those smaller little bits of trees and things that seem to be just littered everywhere at this point. Tomorrow you can see, or Wednesday, our temperature is still kind of steamy, but then this is the point where it will start to be a little less humid, and that actually should trend all the way into the weekend. We'll be looking for a little less humidity, still kind of hot, highs around 90, but the feels like temperature or the heat index with the lower humidity may only be a few degrees higher than the actual air temperature.
All right, well, let's hope any little break helps.
Indeed.
Any little break helps. I'll take it.
All right, Alex, thanks so much. And a quick question for you again. I know that we were talking about Baton Rouge possibly like getting some flooding. Did they get any flooding at all in Baton Rouge, you know of?
You know, we heard about some rain bands, not that I remember.
Okay.
I'll look into it, but kind of what we saw around the area was really just, you know, some rain for sure. We definitely got some rain. It picked up a little bit, and we got some winds, and we did get some high wind gusts, near 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts,
Wow.
in fact, in Baton Rouge. But again, as we saw the eye kind of take that little more easterly path, you know, as far as I know, we didn't have a whole lot of widespread flooding across Baton Rouge.
All right.
Yeah, I saw some people, just friends, who had some damage from winds. So things in their
Yeah.
backyard blown around, kind of like what you experienced, Sharice.
Yeah.
In your
Oh, my
backyard.
poor backyard.
Oh, no.